Good evening and salutations, my GH fans. Jesus Christ, where do I even start? You know what? Let's start with Willow and Chase. So, Willow pretty much tries to tell Chase, late I may add, that things ain't working out. I'm not feeling you really anymore, and I want to be with Michael. Also, I had sex with him before I came here. I I've read the comments in the comment section below. Um, and I do agree that in a lot of ways, Willow did Chase dirty. Um, Chase has always stood by her, regardless of everything. And besides that whole little thing where he pretty much kind of sacrifices happiness, so that way Wiley can actually have a better life, he's always been stand up with Willow. Willow knew that she wasn't feeling Chase like how she used to, and mostly because of Michael. Now, at some point in time, she should have probably actually talked to him before she decided to do the deed with Michael. But instead, she waits until after she has sex with him, and then goes to the and then decides to go to his house and be like, "Hey, by the way, yeah, this thing is not really working out," and just uh, and yeah, I do get the fact that she's young and naive and everything like that, but I'm like, you're a grown ass woman, you know, like naiveness only goes so far. I can't. So anyway, there's a couple of times where there's one time she's actually about to sit down and tell me, hey, listen, we gotta talk. Of course, Gregory and Finn walks in, and Gregory's like, oh, it's a good thing that you're here. He probably feels a lot better knowing that you're here. And it's like, here we go again with the guilt trip. They're not doing it intentionally, but it's like every time they sit there and talk about her and how, she's doing Chase a world of favor just by being there and sticking by his side, it's just like it makes it that much more difficult to tell him the truth. And let's be very clear about something. I know at one point that he was feeling a little bit better, and part of me was like, all right, you know what, maybe you can tell him now. But I'm just like, how are you gonna sit there? Just think about the setup for a minute. This guy's in the hospital after passing out from what he thought was food poisoning. Okay, he's still in the hospital, and now you're gonna sit there and tell him, oh, by the way, I know that you're in the hospital and everything, but yeah, this isn't working out. Anyway, Chase actually winds up getting worse. At one point, he can't really like his whole body feels like numb and stuff like that, like his arms and legs and everything. Next minute, he is burning up. Now, Gregory keeps asking over and over again, what's wrong with Chase? What's wrong with Chase? What's wrong with Chase? I get it. You're a concerned parent, and that's just your first natural reaction. Even though, he's not his bio dad, he still want to ask. I'm just not there thinking, if he didn't know the first couple of times that people kept asking him, and he didn't know then, and he didn't know then, and why do you keep asking him the same question? Well, I mean, I know you can't really give me an answer, but, well, what's your guess? Bro, his guess is that he doesn't know. Okay? He doesn't know, which I get is not good, because if he doesn't know and he deals with infectious diseases or whatever, then, it's bad. The point is, that's pretty much what he was saying to Gregory when he got outside, is that he is it's not good. Whatever it is, it's not good. He doesn't know, and yeah, it's not good. At some point, Willow does try to text Michael. Michael's not answering because he's sitting there talking to Dante, kind of celebrating his whole, I don't want to sit there and say victory, but celebrating the fact that him and Willow are going to be a thing officially, which is not going to happen, but in his mind he thinks it's going to happen. So that's pretty much what he's doing with Dante, which is actually good, because to be honest, I felt like I haven't really seen enough of those two just like being brothers and just kind of bonding and talking and stuff like that. So Yeah, it was cool. It was a nice little scene or whatever. It didn't really go anywhere. It just he was talking about how happy he was being with Willow and talking about how he loved her, which is like super fast. But I don't know. I guess love kind of works in the mysterious ways. It doesn't exactly have a timetable. So I know that some people kind of look at it as like, bro, you love her? Like really? That was hella fast. But he known this woman for a while. So to be honest, I can't sit there and be like I'm too surprised. Um, Now back at the garage where Brandon Smith there working on the car, he's working on the car like I said, and Sasha passes him some sort of tool or whatever. Not gonna lie, I know nothing about cars, but I also know nothing about sports, so there's that. Point is, apparently, Sasha knows tools and stuff, which is awesome because well, I don't. But anyway, they get to talking, and Sasha figures out that Brano's being blackmailed by Cyrus. And at this point, Brando sits there and tells her the whole story about Dev and how his mom pretty much sold him out. Jesus Christ. I feel like I would be so angry. Seriously, if one of my parents did that, I would have been so angry. But anyway, he talks about that, but he's like, listen, I know it's bad, but she's my mom and everything like that. I'm like, bro, she sold you out. Like, I guess she sold a bunch of other people out, including Dev, which was, well, past, but still. Um, which I'm not gonna lie, that conversation just really went nowhere. And next thing you know, they had sex. Less than Well, I actually tell you the truth, I was gonna sit there and say less than 24 hours. But then again, Michael also had sex with Willow less than 24 hours, pretty much. So things are moving hella fast. But yeah, they had sex, and you know, it is what it is. Which is fine because to be honest, they seem like they wanted to do it for a while. Um, they were just waiting for that whole pesky thing to kind of end with the whole Michael and Sasha thing. Talking about she gave it the old, they gave it the old college try and everything. And I'm like, uh, I, I kind of look at that situation and I'm just like, bro, I get it that she's hot and everything like that, but I don't know. I'm kind of just like, I felt like his heart wasn't in the right place to begin with. Like when I saw them starting to like redate again and everything like that, I was like, what are you doing? Like for me, it just didn't feel right. Like something about it, like the fact that his trust was broken and everything like that. It just something just didn't seem right, and it just seemed very odd. And it was just like, all right, so you're just doing this because it's Valentine's Day, or like what's going on? Now I do gotta kind of talk about the previews for a minute because I don't want to sit there and forget it. Um, I'm not gonna lie, I thought Alexis was going. Like I thought the actress was just like, all right, I'm just gonna kind of just fade away into the dust and just kind of just chill out or whatever. Like I thought she was leaving the show. So why, when I saw the previews, it showed her in jail? So that was kind of odd. Also, the woman that she's looking at looks scary as hell. Like, like, like something's gonna happen. And it's not gonna be good for Alexis. So, um, man, I'm not gonna lie. I really thought she was gone. I mean, I know Dante was gone, and for a while he actually was. I guess he was trying to do acting and all this other stuff that probably didn't pan out or whatever. But I thought she was gone, but she's not. So this should be interesting. Should be interesting. So let's talk about Jackson Carly for a minute. So Jax comes over. This is after Jax was they're talking to Nina. Which, by the way, I want to let's talk about that first for a minute because Jax calls Nina, and Jax is like, "Listen, I got some big news. I want to sit there and tell you. Where are you? I'll I'll come over there and we'll talk." And Nina is being very defensive and everything like that. And so Jax is like, "Where are you?" Yada yada yada. at some point, Nina, I'm like, Nina, what are you doing? You're not 12 years old. She literally passes the phone to Phyllis, and I'm like, you're a grown ass woman. Why are you acting like a coward? Just talk to him or hang up the damn phone. Like, what are you doing? So you literally get Phyllis to sit there and do your dirty work. Like, what are you doing? And of course, Jax. Here's the thing about Jax in his history. He's been known to be a white knight, and now I just don't know about this character. I mean, you literally pressured Michael into making sure that Nina can see Wiley again, so that way you can get back in her good graces again. Wow, that doesn't really sound like White Knight. Like that just seems kind of off. Like kind of scumbaggish, to be honest. So Jax talks to Carly, and he pretty much tells her, "Hey, listen, I got some news, and you're not gonna like it." So he tells her about the conversation that he had with Michael, and she, of course, is livid, which I can't blame her. And she's like, "Yo, did you not know what happened before about the whole, you know, confusing Wiley and upsetting Willow and everything like that?" And Jackson's like, "Oh, well, she's not a terrible person." It's like, it's not about being a terrible person, but this is one of those things where it's like, I get that it happened and it was a mistake, but I feel like it's the first of many with her, with her mindset. So she's not happy about that, and she goes off on him. And then they get into this big argument. Justin comes downstairs, and well, Jax accidentally, that told Carly that Josh was on a wait list for another school. Um, so he leaves, and pretty much Jocelyn's like, "Listen, she wanted to leave because she wanted to kind of get some distance from poor Charles, pretty much from Cameron, which is odd because I'm like, you could just like not see him, right? Like that's an option too. And by the way, just on a side note, when did they actually start calling it Facebook? I'm only sitting there saying that because I remember a couple years back they would sit there and call it like My Face or something like that, and I was like, oh, because of the whole. Okay, I get it. And I only bring that up because Brandon was sitting there talking about how his mother was posting pictures on Facebook about her new grandson. And it just kind of, it caught me off guard. I was like, when were they allowed to use the word Facebook? When did that happen? Um, anyway, she talks about the problems with Cam and everything like that, and how Cam is kind of going off the deep end, and like he is angry and he's grieving, and tells Carly to kind of go easy on him. And I'm like, listen, Carly may be a lot of things, but going after teenagers like yelling or arguing them or whatever, that's not her deal. She has a lot of them. That's not one of them. Honestly, tell you the truth, I'm not gonna lie. The conversation didn't really go too much of anywhere else, other than the fact that she didn't want to say anything because Carly has a full plate. Um, so I think the last scene, which I'm gonna probably pause at the end, but I think the last scene is, well, the Sunny Side Story stuff. One second. Yeah, it's the Sunny Side Story stuff. So pretty much, Nina has her little. I'm not gonna call it a date, but it's somewhat of a date. I mean, Elijah's like, I'm gonna sit there and give you a tour, which is somewhat like a date. So they're hanging out and they're talking, and then they get to, they start talking about, well, he pretty much starts talking about Mike and like what's his deal and everything like that, and just being kind of suspicious of him, and kind of like asking her like just a lot of questions he was not there asking her. She just felt like uncomfortable, and Nina wound up finding herself defending Mike a couple of times, because Elijah was like, like he doesn't have a pass, and yet he's wormed his way into Phyllis and Lenny's lives. And Nina was like, you mean sort of like what you did, right? And I was like, the look on his face, I was like he had that look like, I'm sorry, what? But They get to talking, and at some point, Nina's like, you know what? Listen, I'm just not really feeling this because he starts asking her a lot of personal questions. And so she's like, you know what? Let's just call it. Let's just call it a night. You know, just do a rain check or whatever. I'm cold, and you cold. You have hot chocolate right there. That's why Sonny made it for you. You cold. So they wind up going back. They want to go back. Nina sits there and talks to Phyllis. Now Sonny was, I guess he called someplace, some tech startup, whatever that Elijah was meant they're talking about. Turns out that pretty much Elijah kind of escaped like some sort of embezzling scheme or whatever. Dude was arrested but not convicted. So at first I thought Sonny was gonna sit there and come right up to Phyllis and be like, "Hey, listen, just to let you know, he did this, that, and the third." And I'm glad he didn't because I'm pretty sure Phyllis would have wanted defending him. So Sonny was just like, "All right, you know what? Mm-hmm." And then towards the end of the episode, he walks up to Elijah and he's like, "Hey, just to let you know, I'm on to you." And then he pretty much just, well, Elijah walks away. And I'm just like, okay. Which, here's the thing, I'm not gonna lie. So he took a lot of time to find out what's going on with Elijah and stuff like that, trying to get dirt or whatever, or just trying to figure out what's going on with him. Because he doesn't trust him. I'm sitting there thinking, why could you not go, like, call the cops or anything like that, or, ask if anyone's missing or anything like that? Like, type up your name, type up, like, any sort of missing reports or anything like that. Like, you took the time to actually try to find out stuff about Elijah, but you didn't take time out to try to find out stuff about yourself. I mean, bro, I'm pretty sure they got a library somewhere. You could just sit there and just do a simple Google search or whatever. But whatever, I guess that would actually make some sort of sense. Now, at some point, I forgot to sit there and say this. Nina was sitting there talking to Jax, and when Jax kept sitting there saying, "Hey, just tell me who you are," Nina kept looking at Sonny. Now, when Nina was sitting there talking to Phyllis or whatever, Nina says something like, "Oh, well, it would ruin my plans," or something like that. And I'm like, "Well, what is your plans? Like, you plan on hooking up with him? You plan on keeping away from Carly to get revenge? Like, what is your plan, Nina?" I just, and somewhere when she was sitting there talking to Elijah, you know, she was like, "Well, maybe he just, he likes the town here. It's a simple life. It's simple for him or whatever." It's like Nina is not there trying to justify reasons of why she should keep the secret from Sonny. Like, oh, he's happy. He doesn't have to be around crime. He's a lot more easy. He's a lot more relaxed and stuff like that. And I'm like, sweetheart, you are doing this for you, okay? And the fact that you keep sitting there trying to do this, like, oh, well, I'm doing Sonny a favor. It's like, you are just... I don't even know. I don't even have the word to sit there and say, but just the fact that you're trying to do it, it's just, I don't want to sit there and say sick, but I can't find the words to actually describe, like, how I feel about that whole situation, but whatever. It's just, it's wrong. It's wrong. And it's probably other curse words I'm not going to say, but yeah. And I think that's about it. I'm not going to lie, this episode wasn't really great. To be honest, a couple of these episodes weren't really that great. There's times where the show will get great and it'll get really interesting when stuff starts to happen. But for the most part, like throughout this week, except for tomorrow probably, they'll have interesting stuff. They'll have interesting parts in this episode, but it wasn't really super great. Like whatever Elijah is gonna do, he didn't do it yet. He didn't seem like he was planning on doing it yet. He just seemed like he was planning on hanging out with Nina. And that was pretty much about it. Like, a lot of stuff, besides the chase stuff and probably Brando scenes that probably a lot of people like, this episode wasn't really... It wasn't super great. It wasn't terrible. It was kind of just a middle-of-the-road kind of episode. So with that being said, I'm going to go. I want to thank everyone for watching. Be safe. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. Catch you in the next video.